Well, the same man who had spot-on accuracy about Trump's assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania before it happened is back again with a troubling new message about a massive assassination attempt on President Trump in Washington, D.C. in some capacity. So just for, I know people are like, wait, I can't believe you're going to tell this story. Well, it's shocking. Here was this pastor back in March of 2024, okay, a full, March, April, May, June, July, about 5 or 6 months before the assassination attempt on President Trump's life. Here he was, spot on, telling exactly what was about to happen. Watch. This is March.
I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming. And then I saw people interceding when I saw him winning the presidency through great. The Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him through the judges and through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff. But there would be a stop to it, and things would start to break free come toward the fall. And then I saw him winning the election through the Patriots coming out and voting, and then there will be a great economy crash.
Watching the world burn, January 17th, 2025. Let's get into it. I wanted to show you that clip up front, and I hope you noticed how specific that prophet was. And I call him a prophet, because how else can you, because he made that prediction in March, and I want to give attribution. That clip was taken from Redacted. Now, I haven't cut the clip yet, so I'm not sure if I'm going to put Redacted on the video, but anyway, I just wanted you to know where it came from. And boy, I tell you, I watch Redacted quite a bit. They cover a lot of stuff that, I would go like, wow, I would have never known that, it's a very interesting show on YouTube, just like Daniel Davis Deep Dive. There's just a lot of great people. I'm not trying to compete with anybody. I just make these videos, but anyway, and a lot of people are poo-pooing it, that, he's not a prophet, and why isn't he on the news? How come I had really not, I think I might have seen a reference to him a while back on Redacted, and I just didn't think much of it at the time, but, if we've got a real live prophet living amongst us, if you're a Christian and you read the Bible, you know that they do exist. And they have existed in history, but the part that got me was the second part, and we're going to watch that right now, is that this is his prediction for Inauguration Day.
So we haven't seen the great economy crash just yet, and I believe that that's coming. I absolutely believe that's coming based on the data. He also talked about Trump losing his shoes. Remember that? Like during the event, like he lost his shoes as well. Like this guy, okay. It's when you hear that, it's jaw dropping. To hear he said this in March, a full few months before it actually happened. Well, now Pastor Briggs is issuing another grave warning, claiming that he's seen a vision of a massive sort of orchestrated attack, a coordinated attack with multiple different men targeting Trump's inauguration and some of his properties. Whether it's Trump Towers or Bedminster or Mar-a-Lago, we don't know. He talks about trucks being filled with massive amounts of fertilizer, hidden in underground garages, poised to strike. Okay, I'm just sort of setting it up. I'm going to play it for you, and you make your own determinations of this. Watch.
It all started, I was just worshiping and just praying like I normally do, y'all, and all of a sudden I was like, poof, and I told my wife, I said, get the phone. You got to record it. I could see, and it was the vision was putting all out in front of me, and I saw farming equipment. I saw massive farming equipment that was. It looked like on the East Coast. This farming equipment was, and there were silos. And the Lord said, "I want you to focus on fertilizer." And all of a sudden, it was like everything was coming at me very fast, and I could see these men buying lots of fertilizer since this summer over the course of quite a while. It looked like I could see. So you're not able to see the vision, so I have to describe what I saw. I forget, y'all, so bear with me. I saw trees. I saw leaves on the trees. I saw the summer grass growing. It was hot outside, and I saw these men collecting fertilizer through different places so that they would not be detected. Okay? It was like different locations buying fertilizer in bulk as much as they could without drawing suspicion. That's the way I would say it. Massive dump trucks with separation of in the back of these dump trucks, separation with 50-gallon drums, all filled with different kind of chemicals to make what was happened in Oklahoma City. I saw these men with these vests on in the front cab of the truck, vest on, and they had explosives on these vests. And there was 2 men in the truck, and they took the truck and they used it to go through police barricade and military barricades in Washington, D.C.
Someone in our chat room says, Karen Ann says he also prophesied about Vegas and New Orleans and that they'd happen on the same day. Okay. So anyway, that's that. The FBI, the Secret Service, Capitol Hill Police say they have multiple credible threats and they have ramped up to high alert status. They're putting additional staff on hand because of this. The FBI, of course, like last week, warning about major threats right now in the United States. So what do they know? What will they share it with the American people? Anyway, we're sharing that with you. You can take it as you want. We could all sort of pray and make sure, come together as as a mental collective here and sort of pray that nothing happens to our country. That's something powerful that we could all do and send our energy in that direction. So.
Okay, so that was the prediction, and that's scary as hell. Now the good news is the weather. Now a lot of people say that Trump turning his head and that bullet just clipping his ear rather than hitting him in the head was a divine experience. I mean, that God had a hand in that. And so if these trucks loaded with fertilizer are for real, then maybe God had a hand, because the weather on Monday is going to be just freezing cold from what I understand. And they've moved the inauguration ceremony to the indoors, which should help protect Trump and the people around him and anybody at the inauguration. By the way, in the last video, I didn't talk about it. You're going to have Bezos, Musk, and Zuckerberg all sitting together at the inauguration. And that's kind of crazy. I mean, they're not exactly friends, you know what I mean? So I just thought that was a cool little factoid that you might want to know about. And then, of course, the media is going off. All these billionaires are behind Trump. Anyway, there's a post by Insurrection Barbie, and I can't remember how many. It was like the Democrats have, like, including Soros, of course, that satanic individual on the side. They've got about, 20, 25 billionaires that contribute to the Democrats. And then Biden comes out with that stupid speech talking about how, billionaires are a bad idea. Well, the Democrats have been getting money from billionaires for as long, a hell of a lot more money than the Republicans. Why do you think they outspend the Republicans in congressional races like 10, 20, 50 to 1 sometimes, that money has to come from somewhere, and it's not from individual donors, I can tell you that. Sorry, I'm having to be careful about how I maneuver this trail. It's not an easy hiking trail. But so anyway, that's just it on the inauguration. I'm looking forward to it. I get the dog back from the old battle axe, the ex-wife, tomorrow, and he's going to be here for the inauguration. I will tell you this, I will not be leaving my TV for the entirety of the inauguration ceremony. I'm going to sit there, pop some popcorn, just sit with the dog in my lap and watch the whole doggone thing. I never thought we'd get here and get that driveling old fool of a man out of office. You know, that's another thing I kind of wanted to hit on, you know. I mean, why hasn't Biden been 25th Amendment out, you know, especially when, you know, right after the debate with Trump, you know, everybody found out. I mean, you know, conservatives all knew that Biden wasn't mentally there and he wasn't running the government. It was just that, you know, it woke up a few Democrats. I'm not sure you can wake up a Democrat, but anyway, and so you would think, okay, you know, and then of course, the Democrats, they always try to deflect. Oh, well, you know, Woodrow Wilson, basically his wife ran the government. And then, of course, you had FDR. For a while, he wasn't running the government, but they stayed in the office. Well, they didn't have nuclear weapons, man. I mean, you know, who the hell was carrying the nuclear football? I mean, you know, because it couldn't have been Joe Biden. And so that meant that maybe Blinken or Sullivan had their finger on the nuclear trigger and wasn't even elected. How scary is that? I mean, you know, so that's my point, is like, okay, yeah, there's been presidents that were mentally incapacitated, but I mean, you got to have somebody in there that knows that they can make a decision to destroy the world or not, you know? I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but, you know, so the Democrats and the media lied to the American people for almost 4 years, man. Why do you think well, CNN, they just lost a defamation suit for, I don't know what it was, $50 million or something like that. I mean, it's hard to lose a defamation suit. That means that whoever it was, must have been a lie, and a terrible, terrible lie. I haven't got the details on the defamation suit for you. I'm sorry about that. I just know they lost. And a lot of, you know, lawyers on the radio, they're talking about, man, it's practically impossible to win a defamation suit. And that's why lawyers love to take that, because they make a lot of money and then, you know, it gets thrown out of court. It's kind of like winning an election case. You know, you may have all the evidence in the world, you get it to the court, which is what happened in 2020, and the judge says, oh, you have no standing. We're not even going to look at your evidence. Well, wait a minute. I spent, you know, the last year putting together this case with all this evidence, and you're just going to not even look at it? And that's basically what happened. You know, it was unbelievable. And of course, then the Democrats come back and say, well, they brought 60 cases and they didn't win one of them. Well, the judge never even heard the damn case, you stupid, idiot, lunatic, Democrat, Marxist, communist people. Oh, man, I get pissed off sometimes. Anyway, let's get to the confirmation. I did the last video on Tulsi Gabbard. And then, of course, you know, there was Pete, and he was up there. But I did want to show you this clip. It was a takedown. I can't remember the senator's name. I'll put it up above. Anyway, this was his takedown of the Democrats. And I want to talk about Democrat questioning in just 1 minute.
Getting some advice from my second in command.
Yeah, but I'm just making a point, because there's a lot about qualifications. And I think it's so hypocritical of senators, especially on the other side of the aisle, be talking about his qualifications, not going to lead the secretary or be the Secretary of Defense, and yet your qualifications aren't any better. You guys aren't any more qualified to be the senator than I'm qualified to be the senator, except we're lucky enough to be here. But let me read you what the qualifications of the Secretary of Defense is, because I Googled it and went through a lot of different sites, and really it's hard to see. But in general, the U.S. Secretary of Defense position is filled by a civilian. That's it. If you have served in the U.S. Army Forces and have been in the service for, you have to be retired for at least 7 years, and Congress can weigh that. And then there's questions that the senator from Massachusetts brought up about serving on a board inside the military industry, and yet your own secretary that you all voted for, Secretary of Austin, we had to vote on a waiver because he stepped off the board of Raytheon. But I guess that's okay, because that's a Democrat Secretary of Defense. But we so quickly forget about that. And then Senator Kaine, or I guess I better use the senator from Virginia, starts bringing up the fact that what if you showed up drunk to your job? How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night? Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job? And don't tell me you haven't seen it, because I know you have. And then how many senators do you know have got a divorce before cheating on their wives? Did you ask them to step down? No. But it's for show. You guys make sure you make a big show and point out the hypocrisy because a man's made a mistake. And you want to sit there and say that he's not qualified? Give me a joke. I mean, it is so ridiculous that you guys hold yourself as this higher standard and you forget you got a big plank in your eye. We've all made mistakes. I've made mistakes. And Jennifer, thank you for loving him through that mistake. Because the only reason why I'm here and not in prison is because my wife loved me too. I have changed, but I'm not perfect. But I found somebody that thought I was perfect. And for whatever reason, you love Pete, and I don't know why. But just like our Lord and Savior forgave me, my wife's had to forgive me more than once too, and I'm sure you've had to forgive him too. And so thank you.
All right, so there was that video. Was that great or what, man? But I just wanted to tell you, I mean, the Democrat politicians are some of the stupidest, dumbest, most hypocritical people I have ever seen. I mean, thank God you don't have to sit and watch what I have to watch to make these videos. You would just be going like, my 3-year-old kid is smarter than a Democrat, man. My dog has more brains than a Democrat. I mean, the questions that come out of them, you know, it's like, well, when you were a baby, did you cry, you know, or you know, did you poop in your diaper? I mean, just the craziest, dumbest questions. I mean, a question, like here would be a question that I didn't include in the last video, or maybe I did, is, okay, you know, I would have asked Hexman, are you going to bring back Millie, you know, because he can bring him back, and then put him up for a court-martial? That would have been a great question. I would love to hear the answer to that. No, as far as I know, nobody asked that question. And then I thought, you know, like there's two people, like I told you, you know, we did the Tulsi Gabbard because they don't want her in there. I mean, and then of course they don't want RFK Jr. And from what I understand, there's still no hearing scheduled for either one of them. And I thought Kristi Noem was in that category, but I heard today that she was getting grilled on Capitol Hill. So here would be a question that I would love to ask Kristi Noem. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Kristi Noem. I think she's going to be a great addition to the Trump cabinet, assuming that she can get in there. I mean, if the rhinos don't team up against her, let's just put it that way. You know the Democrats hate her, but they hate anybody that Trump's nominated. You know, they hate it. they got Trump derangement syndrome for sure. But anyway, so I would have asked her, you know, do you, Kristi Noem, enjoy shooting puppies? That would have been my question. Because remember, she admitted that she shot a puppy. I don't remember the circumstances. I do remember it was justified. It was a reason that she had to do it. But boy, I tell you, the media jumped all over that story. But I mean, if I were Kristi Noem, the reply that I would have given, well, it seems that you Democrats enjoyed watching Fauci, that little fat, you know, little short demon, torture puppies. Democrats don't even care, man. He tortured puppies. I mean, put their heads in there and had bees sting them. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy experiments. And all these animal lovers out there, you know, a Democrat, you know, especially some of the Democrats I know, they might have 2-3 dogs. But they don't give a shit that Fauci tortured puppies. You know, ask a Democrat that, say, especially if you see one walking a dog. Run up to them and say, hey, how do you feel about Fauci torturing puppies? And they probably would look at you and go, he didn't torture puppies. I don't know. Well, then just show them the evidence. You know, because there's plenty of it out there. It doesn't take a long, well, Google's probably erased it from the internet, but you can go to the Wayback Machine. But anyway, so that was kind of the next story. Then I wanted to get it back into the fire. And I don't know if this is true, but they were saying that this plant or this building is on fire. let's just watch the fire video. Okay, so there was that. And, you know, of course, the fire, I haven't heard. As far as I know, it's still going on. I mean, my God, can you imagine how many structures? And then somebody pointed out, you know, I wanted you to think about this because nobody's talking about it. There are a lot of trailer parks, and they are not included in the numbers or the statistics. And think of all the people that lived in those trailer parks that burnt down. I mean, you know, I assume because there's no way you're going to survive a trailer being on fire. I looked back, what was the series? I can't remember. Anyway, it was Evil. Well, the Army of Darkness was the original movie, and then they had a TV series, and anyway, there was a trailer, and man, that trailer went up like a freaking torch in that movie. Now, I'm not sure if a trailer would go up that fast or not. Maybe they make them with fire retardant material, but anyway, but I just wanted to say, so it's not just the homes or the $1 million mansions that we're hearing about. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of trailers that have gone up in smoke. All those people are homeless now too. You know, I mean, God, this thing is just a nightmare. But anyway, and then of course, Joe Rogan, this is another video on the fires. I thought he makes a good point in this video because he's talking about the fact that the Democrats, and ask a Democrat this, man. Ask a Democrat this. Please, God, somebody ask a Democrat a question and leave me a comment. But anyway, so he pointed out that if they had given Maui in Hawaii that went up in flames $5 billion, well, just watch the video.
Because all it would have taken is $5 billion. And they accidentally paid an extra $6 billion to Ukraine. They're like, don't worry, just a mistake. There's an accidental $6 billion.
What, to help Maui?
Yeah, rebuild entirely. So for $5 billion, everyone could have got their home back and everything could have been settled. And no, nothing's been done. But yet we keep sending money to these other countries.
Well, how come why don't these countries throw us a buck every now and then? All we've been doing is paying their bills for the last 78 years.
Here's the thing. Even if you are supporting the idea of sending money to Ukraine, I'm not arguing against that. I'm saying they accidentally sent $6 billion there, and no one cared. And they didn't send $5 billion to Maui.
Right.
And they could have.
Also, just get it back. Like, it's not actually, you're not shipping a big thing of money.
Okay, so don't you think it makes a good point? So the Democrats can sit there and send all the money to Ukraine that we can scrape up. They don't give a shit about their constituents. You know, I would point that out to a Democrat. I'd say, why do you think that your politician cares about you? They're not sending the money to California. They're not sending it to Hawaii, both Democrat states. They're sending it all to Ukraine. And Democrats just go, oh, okay, I'm just a meat puppet. I'm just a meat puppet. You know, man, I'm telling you, these people are something else. It just blows my mind. Watching the Democrat politicians, I mean, well, I know one intelligent Democrat, and if you're watching this video, because one of the people that watches my videos, we both know him together. That's the only one, and even him, I can't consider him intelligent. He must have no common sense. But he's got all the intellectual sense that you could ever imagine. But that's the exception rather than the rule. Hell, Sean Hannity was just talking to a Democrat that called in. And the guy was going, he says, well, I think I was misled. And Sean's like, well, I've been telling you this and I've been telling you that. Because the guy does listen to Sean Hannity, evidently. And he says, he says, so where were you misled, man? You know, and they were just going back and forth. Boy, I thought that was a spider right there. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to get on out of here. But let's see, was there anything else? Well, if I think of something else to talk about on the video, I think we've covered. Oh, yeah, this is a clip, and I'm glad I got it later in the video, but I just thought this was a cool clip. This is the Russian GIANT or something like that, the gods of war. The Russians call the artillery the gods of war. Let's just watch that brief clip right now. Wasn't that cool? I mean, the thing that scares me is I've never been on the receiving end of an artillery piece. I've had them shoot over top of my head. Don't get me wrong. I mean, and it does make a sound, and I'll give it to you as best I can. It goes. You hear the cannon fire. Boom. And that's just as it's going over top of the head. Now imagine it makes a different sound when it's coming in on your position, because you do learn to identify sounds like that in combat. Just like when I was shot at, it's a different sound the bullet makes. Well, it kind of really doesn't make a sound. If it comes close to you, you hear it, but it's just like, you'll see the little puffs, of stuff popping up around you. It's like, is that like a popping bug or, no, it's bullets, man, and then you hit the deck, but, hopefully you got some cover. But I just had to, I wanted to talk about the artillery for just 1 second, because I can't imagine the Ukrainian soldiers on the receiving end of that. And those are two other numbers that I just wanted to get into that Blinken, I don't know, you probably don't know. Max Blumenthal, Max Blumenthal, by the way, is Jewish. And he went after, Blinken was giving his final speech, and Blumenthal went after him about the genocide in Gaza. And it was great. I mean, because he was trying to ask him questions. And of course, the Democrats don't answer. That's another thing. Ask a Democrat this one time. You know how the Democrat politicians, when they're speaking, they won't answer a question because they're too stupid to. Trump will get up there, he'll answer anybody's question. And I know there's a lot of Putin haters out there, Putin will get up there and he'll sit there for 4 hours. He did 4 hours of question and answer. And I mean, they grilled Putin for 4 hours and he sat there and answered questions. When have you ever seen a Democrat answer a question, more or less sit there for 15 minutes and answer a question? So anyway, they threw Max out, and then there was another reporter that tried to ask a question, and the Capitol Police came in and grabbed him up and carried him out. Of course, he was screaming, "They're hurting me, they're hurting me, they're hurting me." But anyway, so Blinken just wouldn't answer a single question about, what had taken place in Gaza. And talking about the ceasefire, folks, I mean, just my opinion, that ain't gonna last. Israel has never obeyed a ceasefire ever. And so, if they get the hostages out, well, good for them. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But I'm going to tell you right now, Israel, they're not going to obey that ceasefire. That ain't going to last very long. And, or if it lasts at all, because they're supposedly in a ceasefire with Hezbollah. From what I understand, though, Israel is still bombing Lebanon. Now, I haven't heard much about Hezbollah fighting back. Maybe they've got nothing left to fight back with, since Syria got taken out of the equation. Who knows, I guess we'll find out about that. But, I meant to talk about X for just a minute. I know that some of you may or may not be on there, and then I wanted to hit on the TikTok story just a little bit. Gosh, I couldn't believe I forgot about that. Anyway, I can't figure X out, man. In the last video, I was telling you that, I was making some posts. And in fact, one post, because I'm learning now to type the post up, save it to a file on my computer, and then paste it into the post on X and then send it. And that way, because what happened was I put a post up twice and hand typed it, because you're sitting there, a lot of times I'm on the phone just watching TV, and I think of something that I want to sound out on. or comment on. And I sit there and it takes me, I'm one of them old dudes. It's click, 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 click. It takes me 20 minutes to put a post together, get it posted. And then X turns around and it goes into my replies for some reason. And then all of a sudden it disappears. And I was like, what the hell, man? And then you get frustrated. So then I redid it again, click, 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 click. Because I thought maybe I hit the delete button or something, and the second time, and then they disappeared it again. So I thought, man, X is censoring the hell out of me, And and plus, I get very few comments a lot of times, on X. Even though I post quite a bit, I think I've got about 8,000 posts up there, and that's what they're called on X, posts. A lot of people call it a tweet. Or you hear people, I can't remember what it's called these days. It's called an X post. Anyway, so I haven't been getting, I get comments occasionally, and I always look at them, man, because I want to see, if somebody has something, because I do. Every now and then you get that brilliant comment, and you're like, wow, that is really a good point, Well, anyway, I don't know what the hell. Somehow I got unthrottled, and so I put this post up, and basically all it said was, I think it was in reply to Colonel McGregor, and all I said was, because he was talking about how Germany, the government, is likely to become a conservative government or a nationalistic government here before too long and get Schultz out of power. And I said, I don't think so, Doug, or Colonel McGregor. I mean, I think that, if they went along with the deindustrialization and the blowing up of the pipeline and everything else that they don't seem to care about, why do you think they're going to overturn this government? Angelina Baerbock, she wants to send more money to Ukraine, and Germany is in a recession right now. So all the German government cares about is Ukraine, just like the Democrats. I guess they're in cahoots together, whatever. So anyway, I don't know whether it was the way I phrased the reply. It went viral, man. It's like, I got so many comments on that. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I mean, I don't even know how many people, because I keep getting, because when somebody likes it, you get a reply, and I mean it. So anyway, I guess I'm back on X, and all of a sudden, my other comments and everything. So I'm starting to get a lot of replies. I mean, it's good. I mean, I'm glad. But what the hell was the difference between then and now? You tell me. And then of course I wanted to weigh in on TikTok, and I'm glad that Trump changed his position on that. I'm a total free speech absolutist, and I don't think we should be censoring TikTok. And I'm going to explain why. Everybody's, the Chinese are spying on us. And I pointed this out in a couple of comments, and this was another comment actually that went semi-viral. And when I say viral, I'm not talking like 1 million people. I mean, 1,000 people might have looked at it. That's viral for me. Let's put it that way. But anyway, but I was commenting, and I said, well, look, as a cybersecurity expert, everything you do is spied upon. All right. So anything you do with Google keeps in their database. Every email you send, everything that you click on, every website you go to, that goes into a Google database. It also goes into your internet service provider. And of course, the NSA has a copy of it too. So you're being spied on. Everything you do. And every phone call you make is recorded by the NSA. All right. Every single, you think putting your passwords on the internet is a good idea? No, NSA has a copy of that. I mean, you might think they're encrypted, but NSA, I mean, they got the infinite amount of computing power. They can break into your passwords anytime they want. That's why I don't post my passwords on the internet. I keep it in KeyPass.info. KeyPass.info. That's my cybersecurity tip for you. All right, go get it. It's an encrypted database where you can keep all your passwords. And I don't know about you, but I got a gazillion of them. All right, so everything you do. Now, X has a copy of all my X posts. And the reason why this is bad is because X probably, now I don't know this for sure, because I assume they do, because everybody does. Google, Yahoo, whatever, they sell your data. That's how they make money. You are the product, okay? And so what if the Chinese are gathering the same information. In fact, I would rather the Chinese know about me than my own government. Okay? Because what do you think? China's going to fly over here and go after that cybersecurity guy? We're going to find where that cybersecurity guy lives. We're going to, you know, they're going to spend $1 million on an assassin to come and take me out or something. You know, I mean, or they're going to try to put me in a van and fly me back to China. I mean, come on. But I mean, I'll tell you what, the NSA will send a van to your house via the FBI and take you right in and put you in a freaking DC gulag, just like they have the January 6ers, which I hope get pardoned by Trump. Okay, so you better be much more worried about the fact that the U.S. government collects all your data than some Chinese TikTok application. And you know the reason why they did it, okay? Because they were saying that you know, that Trump was getting favorable information, and it was also about the Israeli lobby. They took down TikTok because there were a lot of people posting negative stuff about Israel on TikTok and pro-Palestinian. And I'm going to tell you what, the Israeli lobby, they own the U.S. government. They own the U.S. government. They are the U.S. government. Okay, and so when they say TikTok has to go because there's too much pro-Palestinian information on there, TikTok goes away. So that's it, man. That's all. I just wanted to weigh in on that so that you can make your own judgment. So anyway, that's got to be it for this video. Let's hope we have a peaceful and you know, non-violent inauguration. That was another thing about the inauguration I forgot about, was they're sweeping Washington, D.C. right now for nuclear material, according to Alex Jones. Now, a lot of people, oh, you can't trust Alex Jones. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He says that they're in there sweeping for nuclear. Now, that might be just standard practice for all I know, but they are sweeping for it. So maybe there's some sort of threat that you and I don't know about. I tell you what, no way, no how would I go to Washington, D.C. Well, number one, I don't want to freeze my ass off because by the way, beautiful day here in Florida. I mean, absolutely gorgeous day. I mean, it was like 68 degrees, sunny. You know, I had to get out and get a long hike in. But so sorry, I digress. But yeah, so they're sweeping for nuclear material. That's it for the video, January 17th. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace out and stay free.
Until Donald J. Trump is back in office, baby. Y'all, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 more days, y'all. 4. Can you count? I hope you can count to 4, because in 4 days, Donald J. Trump will be back in the White House, y'all. I am overly excited. I'm too excited. I can't sleep at night. I'm so excited. I am too excited. Y'all, we needed this. America needed a great reset, and we are getting it. America is going to be great again. Donald Trump is not coming to play. He's not coming to play. He ain't coming to play. Oh, this shenanigans? Oh, it's about to stop. He finna put a stop to it. He ain't playing around. He ain't playing around. Oh, wait and see. And all y'all criminals out here committing crimes, all this corruption, you got 4 more days to keep doing what you doing. Because when Donald J. Trump is back, your ass is grass. Oh, he ain't playing around. He's sick and tired of this bull crap. So, it's gonna go down, y'all. I'm so excited.